potentially formidable collection, two coaches to begin a staff with. I don't necessarily know if I agree 100% that they need, but you could do worse than having those two together in those positions on the staff.
And Will Muschamp's right now some type of a defensive analyst with Georgia, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. We do have Luke Walker in here, big North Carolina fan.
Mm-hmm.
And they are suffering through a painful season themselves. And so we might as well get to it. Well, let's do this first before we talk the North Carolina matchup is, just a lot of speculation out there concerning the transfer portal revving up out of Miami.
Yeah, and I think that's to be expected. My boy JP, who sometimes pops in with a feature piece on State of the U, he's been decrying the sole focus on seniority for a while. I think his debut article on that was in March, about Miami having a seniority problem with the singular focus on chronology over talent being the thing that decides roster slots. Like who's the oldest, they're going to play. Not who's the best, not who's performing the best, who's the oldest, and going from there. So there is a little bit of that that I think has been going on in Miami in certain spots. Then you have that fight in practice last week, which, obviously tensions can run high, and we'll see those things. But then Manny Diaz also referring to last week when he had his press conference this week and said, last week was a in the boat, out the boat kind of situation, like rubber meeting road. Are you with us or are you not? And are you with us in whatever way? Because you might have been a starting player and now your role has changed. Maybe you've waited to be a starting player for years, and unfortunately you in a starting role is not a thing that's going to work for our team and our program. So we're going to go in a different direction. So you have a role, but it's not going to be the role that you thought that you've had previously or that you wanted to have. So that's going to piss a lot of people off. Like I bought into this program. I stayed for 3-4 years. I'm supposed to be the starter. Now I'm supposed to be the man, because like JP wrote and I've said many times, if you kept not playing me because of seniors or older players, now I'm the older player and you're going to skip over me and have done me a disservice of development and playing time and connection or whatever you want to call it. Hell yeah, I would be pissed off about that. So point blank period, there's some guys on the roster who are not going to play as much now as they used to, moving like even this Saturday and moving forward. And those are the guys who you're going to look to see probably go towards the portal. Now, Manny Diaz, obviously, in the way that it should have been handled. I know people are trying to parse the words, but he said there's no official players who are going into the portal. What he said, what he meant was, I don't have a list of names that I'm going to tell you. That's what that meant, ladies and gentlemen. Does he know? Yes. Do those players know? Yes. Were some of those players probably involved in that fight? Have they been fire fucking hot at the coach? These young guys are getting these reps and everything. Look, you can read nonverbal cues. You can hear verbal cues because it's a football field, bro. They're going to be loud. So does he know? Absolutely. But is he going to, on a Monday presser or on a radio show at 7 o'clock on Monday morning, either one, is he going to drag these kids' names out here halfway through a season and be like, you're soft, you're a quitter, you're soft, you're a quitter, you're pissed off because you're going to play less, and these are the guys who are going to leave? Absolutely not. And that's not the right thing that any coach would do. And if you talk about, being injurious to the foundation and the perception of a program, had he gone down categorically and done that, no one would come to Miami, period. He would have got fired that day on spot because you cannot have a coach who does that. This is the same, organization or entity in an NCAA situation where the coaches are not allowed to name recruits because they're not officially on the roster until they're officially on the roster when they've signed. And that is for a variety of reasons, but also some people are on television all the time. Nick Saban, like, oh, I'm here, there, and everywhere. So if I say a recruit's name, if Nick Saban wanted, he's on TV so much, he could say Arch Manning's name every game, all the time. Hey, we have a great quarterback now, but Arch Manning in the class of 2023, he's a legacy guy. I know that all his family went to other SEC schools, but Arch Manning from da-da-da-da-da is going to make the best decision possible. He's going to come here. It's an unfair match. So that's why we don't, name recruit names, in case you're wondering that. But it would have been terrible for Manny Diaz to put their names out there. That would have broken their trust. That would have thrown them under the bus, whether warranted or not. And that's just not a thing that you can do. So I just wanted to get that out there, first of all. Secondly, if you wonder about the names, and I've seen the chats that Mark's put up here about putting players' names out there and saying this guy, this guy, that way, you're probably right. Mark Pope played 7 snaps of defense against Central Connecticut State, a 4-star on 24/7, 5-star on Rivals, wide receiver in the class of whatever years ago, gets wide open, drops the ball, and now they're saying, we're not going to play you on offense. You can maybe get some burn on defense. You think that guy's going to want to stick around when he's seen himself as a wide receiver, when he single-handedly led Southridge to a state championship? I've told this story before. They threw a ball to D. Wiggins up the left sideline. He couldn't get it. They called timeout. Mark Pope was the coach. Call same play. Put me over there, coach. I got you. They did that. He catches the ball. Touchdown. They win. Boom. It's like that. So do you think he's going to stick around not to get balls thrown his way? Probably not. D. Wiggins as a mid-bottom of the rotation guy now? Probably not. I've seen people talk about, well, Sam Brooks, well, this guy, well, dub. You're probably right. But you know what's really going to tell you the story? Look and see the game on Saturday. Look and see the game next Saturday against MC State. Look at what the rotations are. Look at the players who are on the field, because that's going to inform this clearly, beyond the shadow of a doubt, because now no one's watched practice. There's not been an Oklahoma situation with somebody climbing up to the top of the bell tower with binoculars and then reporting what's been seen on the 1s and 2s, which they did at Oklahoma. And then Oklahoma subsequently canceled all of their media availability because they benched their Heisman frontrunner, number 1 overall pick potential player who's fine as a college player, but he's not anything super special. And they're going to play a freshman instead. And because the student newspaper did that, then they closed all that down. Miami does not have any of those situations. So you do not necessarily have the chapter and verse here. But what you can do, I guarantee you, look at everything. Look at who plays on Saturday, at Carolina. Look who plays next Saturday at home against NC State. And you're going to see the rotation. You're going to see who's out there less than they used to be. And that's going to start to give you the list. So any of the conjecture or rumor, or I know a guy, or I went to high school with, or I'm from the hood, round the way from somebody's grandmama, girlfriend, that's all well and good, and that's fine. But when you see them jerseys on the field and it's on television, you can say, oh, I'm looking for Amari Carter. He wears number 5 on defense. I see number 3. I see Gilbert Frierson at the striker position. A couple plays later, I see number 1 for Chase Smith over there. I've been looking for 3 drives and have not seen number 5, Amari Carter. We're 7 drives into the game, and number 6, Mark Pope, has not played a single snap at wide receiver, and number 8, D. Wiggins, has played 2 snaps at wide receiver. Sam Brooks has not taken a single snap at linebacker. All of those things will be able to be concretely seen this week and next week. And then all of that unclear thing where people are like, man, he should just name names. No, he shouldn't. And you're a goddamn lie if you think that he should have. Because if you say that, then you just want to get fired. And I think that he's already done enough to get fired. But throwing kids under the bus from the program, absolutely not. And I think he handled that the right way. But you're going to be able to see, based on the rotations, who's out there and who used to be out there, who's not out there enough, or as much as they used to be. And then that's going to inform those guys who are probably more likely than not going to find a home somewhere else.